What's going on, everybody? We're going to just talk about the things that don't really get talked about much often. We just going to talk about like body game and we're going to talk about the dark side of transformation, basically going from fat to skinny, the dark side of it, and my personal experience. So basically, with me, my whole situation started, or should I say, my fitness journey started when I was like 21 years old. I'm 37 now, but everything started at 21, right? So at 21 years old, I decided like, hey, you know what? I want to lose weight. No, keep in mind, I was always like really active. Just being the size that I was always active. But it was just nutrition, the food. I was just like always wanted to, just eat all the time and snacking every minute, and the discipline wasn't really there as far as the nutritional side. Until when I start, I kept being more active, but consistently now, I started just going in the park around that time and just playing basketball, being in the sun, usually summertime, outside for a few hours, and then so that's basically I was getting my 20%, the physical aspect part of it, and then I started paying attention to the 80%, which is the nutritional side. So I stopped the snacking. I said, for me to see any type of results, I gotta focus on the food part. So I cut back on the snacking, and then I sacrificed a couple meals. So around that time, I was doing like one meal a day. So me not knowing that's you. Once you start doing that, you tapping into your caloric deficit. So I didn't know how many calories I was burning at that time when I was in the park working out for all those hours. I was probably burning at least like 1,000 calories, each day. So as I started to notice the weight started coming off, I continued to go to the park, play basketball, keep the same one meal a day, and I started to see the weight come off. So that's when I started seeing it, and people were like, yo, you start getting compliments naturally, like you're not really looking for it, but people be like, yo, you losing weight, like you look different, like okay, I see you like coming down, your weight coming down. You know what I'm saying? This you build a little confidence around this time, you start to get noticed. So you keep it going, you keep it going. Some people can't really stick with it too often. So I find like that's the biggest problem, sticking with that program that you built and then actually going through the trials and tribulation. It's about sticking with the plan. But like I said, I managed to lose the weight, but around that time I started to go a little extreme with it, where I was like not really paying attention to the numbers basically. So like I said, I was doing one meal, started to lose drastic amount of weight at that point. um, my lowest body weight was like 173, if I'm not mistaken. That's the lowest I've been. um, But around that time, I was just skinny. I wasn't weight training, so I didn't have any muscle mass. So a lot of it was just looking real frail. That's what I'm trying to say. To the point where it didn't really look too healthy, because your body fat start to drop, but you just look, slayed as they call it. I'm saying where I'm from. They call it slayed. You start to look slayed. So time go by. You gotta remember, you always gonna be in a learning phase. So I get my response to people start saying, "Oh, maybe you should eat more." And why you so strict? Well, people always want to ask you questions. Oh, why you so strict? But this is how you get your results. But they don't see it that way. They're so comfortable with that older version of you that they know and was insecure, and they seen that, so once you grow and you start to gain a little bit more confidence about yourself, people are going to notice, especially when your body starts to transform too. Everything starts to fall in alignment. So the fit body, then the confident boost. It all has to be basically hand in hand. It has to be hand in hand. So once those two align with each other, that's when you're going to be noticed. It's going to be very noticeable where people just like, you're not familiar basically, so their energy is going to be different, and you're going to be always targeted as like, oh, you think you're too, you think you're this, you think you're that, but that's always going to be there. That's just a part of life. As I feel like people say if you don't got haters, you ain't doing nothing right. I understand what they saying when they say that, but a lot of times people use it and it could be taken as like in an egotistical manner, but it's truth to that, because if you like me so much when I was low vibrational and I worked on myself and I'm no longer doing certain things I was doing before, and your energy towards me changed, and you must be doing something right. So always look at it like that. As you grow, as you mature, people that you wasn't really, on that type of time with, you're gonna fall out because you're in a transformational state. You wanna boss up. You wanna transform your life. You wanna do better things. You want better for yourself. You wanna eat better. You wanna look better. You wanna feel better about who you are as a person. And that takes time and care, and it's really just about self-development, because